Hi, everybody. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another fine day of trading. We're so glad that you're here. I am Christine, and I'm part of the Theta trading team. I am so excited to introduce you to Omar Khan, our co-founder of Theta Trading. He is going to share some amazing stuff with you over the next 45 minutes to an hour. So start getting your questions ready. I'd love to introduce you to Omar and let him tell you a little bit about himself, his journey, and let's get going on some options trading together. Over to you, Omar.
Thank you, Christine. I apologize, guys. I'm just on my phone, so it's going to look a little shaky. I'm not on my my desktop or my laptop because I have to share my screen. So a little bit about my background. I grew up in an immigrant household here in the Greater Toronto area. I didn't grow up with any financial literacy. So as I got older, I didn't want to be in the same predicament my parents were in. And it's a very similar situation across many different people. I went to high school, learned nothing about how to make money. I went to the University of Toronto, got an economics degree. And that bothered me. I'm like, how could I go to university for an economics degree and not know how to manage my money? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. And then I started working in the financial service industry. I worked as a wholesaler and as a trader for a number of years. And the reason I left was over the years, I had learned how to trade. I learned how to make myself a bunch of money. So at that point in time, I had acquired about a dozen properties. I had a large trading account. So I was able to make money. I knew that, and I had a great paying job, a really well-paying job. But we had 3 young kids at home. So I came home one day and I told my wife, I am never in my life going to work for somebody again. And I was very emphatic about that. And the reason I was able to do it is because I knew that I knew how to make money, not only on the stock market, but the real estate market. So I was very confident in myself and my ability. And then flash forward a few years, I acquired north of 30 properties. And 2 years ago, we had taught a bunch of friends and family how to trade over the years just because we love doing it. Because again, this is a personal issue for me. I was a victim of financial illiteracy myself. So not having that financial literacy component, really bothered me as I got older. So we taught a bunch of people, like I said, how to trade. And 2 years ago, they asked us, hey, why don't you guys turn this into a business? And we did. We turned it at Theta Trading. And Theta Trading is designed to give people financial literacy, show them how to make an additional income source, and to live life on their terms. That is our goal. So myself and my business partner, Matthew Todman, like I said, it gave us our financial freedom. It put us in a position where we never have to work again a day in our lives. And when we started this company 2 years ago as a passion project, because we love what we do. First of all, I love trading. I love the markets. And also I love not having to worry about working for somebody or ever again in my life. It's a great spot to be in, and getting as many people to that goal line as possible. So that's a bit about my journey, guys. If you have any questions about my background or ask around about me, I'm more than happy to share. Next, let's move on to how do we actually make money in the market. Now that you have an idea as to who I am, what my background is, I'm going to go over some live trades. I'm going to show you what we do day in and day out here, so you know how much money we make on a particular trade, what our risk is, all that type of stuff, okay? So Christine, if there's any questions, I'll give it to you. Otherwise, I will share my screen, okay? And again, guys, I encourage you to ask as many questions as possible. This literally has the ability to change your life the way it has for me. So, one thing, actually, I'm just going to go to Do Not Disturb here so we don't get any issues. Okay, so here we're going to wait for us to log into our simulated trading account. Now, this is a trading account that is completely fictitious. However, the mechanics are real, meaning we are making trades for real, but we are not, this is not real money, okay? So in this particular account, you can see I have a bunch of stocks. I've got Apple, I've got Airbnb, and those abbreviated terms are just ticker symbols. They stand for something. AMD stands for Advanced Micro Devices, Disney, DIS, FB is Facebook, Nike, Palantir, and Tesla, and Uber, okay? So these are just some of the companies that I trade in this fictitious account. So what we do day in and day out here, so a lot to go over, is we agree to buy stocks that we would buy anyways, okay? We would be buying these stocks anyways. However, instead of just buying them, we get paid a lot of money to buy them at a discount. Let's make our first trade here, okay? So we're going to look at Apple. Has everyone heard of Apple? Of course, right? I'm doing this on an iPhone. So again, we only invest in companies that we know, understand, and believe will be worth more in the future, okay? That is the premise behind every single trade, okay? Now, I'm seeing here that Apple is trading for $140.57. Okay, great. So I'm going to take a look at my chart here, and $140, $140.57. You know what? I'm going to agree to buy Apple for 140. Okay. Again, I think it'll be worth significantly more. Again, this is not meant to be stock advice. None of this is meant to be stock advice. So please don't take it as such. This is simply a demonstration on what we do and why it works for us. Okay. So I'm going to agree to buy Apple for 140 instead of actually just buying it for 140. Okay. So I'm going to go over here to, let's see, I'm going to go over here to November 19th, which is a little bit more than a month away. Okay. And I'm going to agree to buy Apple for $140. And it looks like the market's paying me about $4.50 a share. Christine, could you run some math for me?
Absolutely.
And let me know what $4.50 is divided by $140?
Yes. That's 3.2%.
Okay, 3.2%. So I'm making 3.2% on this trade in just over a month. And the worst thing that's going to happen to me, as long as I'm not leveraging myself, is I'm going to own Apple for $140 or less. So now, if Apple goes below 140 and stays there, I'll have to buy it. But keep in mind, I was more than happy to buy it for $140.95. Okay, so I just did that trade. So for me to be able to buy Apple for 140, which is about, like I said, about 35 cents below where it's trading at right now, for me to buy it for 140 and get paid 3.2% just for a little bit over a month, I'm more than happy to make that trade. So I just did make that trade, and let's go take a look at our orders and trades, and we'll see it right there. Okay, so we can see that net amount here is $920. So I collected $920 for simply agreeing to buy 200 shares of Apple just a little bit over a month from now. Again, this allows me to sleep well at night, okay? Because I know my worst case scenario is that I own Apple for $140. But if I think Apple's worth 170 or 180 a year from now, I certainly don't mind owning Apple for 140. And if you're going to pay me almost $5 a share, I'll take that too. So that is our first trade. Now we're going to go to our second trade, okay? Let's take a look at Airbnb. Okay, so again, another company we like, and again, not meant to be stock advice, simply just showing you what we do and why we do it, okay? So Airbnb is trading at $174. I'm going to take a look at my chart. And understanding how these charts work and understanding how options work is something that, that's the basis behind what we do. We teach this. And the reason we teach this, again, is because we want to get as many people to financial literacy and independence as possible. It is exactly where we were. When I started trading in 1998, I didn't know a thing about the markets. I had no mentors, no YouTube, no one to show me. And I lost a lot of money over the years. I probably lost $1 million easily over the years, just making mistakes. But the good part is it led me to this, Theta, what we know today as being Theta. This is what we do day in and day out here, okay? So I'm going to make a trade here at the $170 mark, okay? I like 170 as a number here, so I'm going to agree to buy Airbnb for $170 for roughly the next month, okay? So I'm going to go to October 29th, and let's see if that pays me well. If it does, I might do that trade instead. Now, you know what? I'm going to go to November 19th, and I'm going to go for the 170. Now, keep in mind, it's almost at 175, okay? 174.58. I'm simply agreeing to buy it for 170, which is almost a $5 discount. Christine, can you let me know what $7 and let's call it 40 cents, roughly in the middle of those two numbers, is divided by 170? So $7.40 divided by 170.
Yeah, that's 4.3%.
Okay, so 4.3%. So on this particular trade, I'm being paid $7.40 a share simply for agreeing to buy Airbnb for a $5 discount in 1 month from now. Now, again, the reason I don't mind, I'm more than happy to buy Airbnb, is because I think it'll be worth more in the future. I cannot stress that enough. Unless it is a super high quality stock, which we believe will be worth more in the future, we do not do this because we always want to make it so that our worst case scenario is that we own a high quality stock. That's a good spot to be in. Our first rule investing is the exact same as Warren Buffett's. Don't lose your money. Second rule investing, don't forget rule number 1. It's that simple, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and make this trade. And there it is. Order filled. I agreed to buy 200 shares of Airbnb at $170 in the next 1 month, roughly. And let's see how much I got paid on that. I made 1,460 US dollars, again, simply for agreeing to buy Airbnb for a month. Okay. Now, those are two sample trades. Now let's look at doing another one. So the first thing I'm going to do is look at my watch list of a lot of popular stocks that I like. And now, again, we only trade about 10 stocks here at Theta, but we know each and every company intimately. We believe in them thoroughly. So AMD, Advanced Micro Devices, a lot of you guys have been hearing about a chip shortage, and these guys literally can't produce them fast enough. Again, not meant to be stock advice, simply our own internal homework. Okay, so I'm going to agree to buy. I'm okay at 105 or 106 on this stock. So you can see it's at 108.69, and I'm going to look at what the 106 is paid. Okay, 106 is, and let's take a look at October 29th, which is only 2 weeks away. Christine, if I agree to buy at 106 and I'm getting paid $2.90, what does that work out to for October 29th?
Right, you're getting 206 for.
No, I'm getting $2.90 divided by 106. Should be about just shy of 3%, 2.7.
Yeah, exactly right. 2.7.
2.7. Okay, so let's look at this trade. Okay, currently Airbnb is trading at $108.77. Okay, and I looked at the chart. I've done my homework on this company. I think it'll be worth a lot more in the future. And I say to myself, you know what? In the next 2 weeks, I am more than happy to buy some Airbnb shares. Some AMD shares for $106. Okay, so it's almost at 109. I'm agreeing to buy it for 106. For that, in the next 2 weeks, I am being paid 2.7%. Can you imagine that? And that's just 2 weeks. Can you imagine what that number would be like annualized? And what's the worst that'll happen to me? I own AMD. So what? I'm happy to own AMD. And I had to buy it. I got a nice little discount on it. That's the worst that happens to me here. So I'm going to go ahead and do this trade. I'm going to do 2 contracts, which is agreeing to buy 200 shares. And I'm going to do a simple market order. Normally, I would not do a market order. I would do a limit order, but this is just simulated trading. It's just fake account. So I'm going to go ahead and do that trade. And there we go. The trade should go through any second. All right. I'm going to skip back out and let's see if the trade went through. It should have gone through, even though it's because it's a market order. There it is. It just went through. Okay. Sometimes it's a little bit of a delay. So we can see that AMD was sold. I sold 200 shares of AMD and I got paid $2.86 per. So that means I made roughly 572 US dollars. Okay. On those true trades. So you can see in these few trades alone, I've already cleared about 2,600 US dollars. And my worst case scenario is I own some AMD, some Airbnb, and some Apple between 2 weeks and a month from now. I hope you guys are starting to see how powerful this can be if you know what you're doing, right? The main thing for us, obviously, is high quality underlying assets. Now, I want to show you something else. What happens if we had to buy the stock and now we had to buy it? Well, here's a perfect example. We own 400 shares of Tesla, okay? Now we can see here that we acquired these Tesla shares for an average of $694.74. If you guys can see where it says position, you can see it's $694.74. Okay, so now currently Tesla's trading at $809. So I wound up buying it for $695. Now it's at $810. So we made some pretty good money. We're pretty happy. And we say to ourselves, you know what? Why don't we get rid of some of our Tesla shares? Okay. So I'm going to agree to get rid of some of my Tesla shares for, let's call it $825, okay? And I'm going to do this for a month from now, okay? So again, remember, it's at $810 today. I'm simply agreeing to sell my shares for a $15 profit in the next month, okay? Now for that, I am being compensated $36 a share roughly. Christine, can you run some quick math for me? What's $36 a share divided by 825?
Right, 825 equals, so that's almost 4.3%.
4.3%. Okay, so just for me, thank you, Christine. Just for me agreeing to get rid of my Tesla shares for a $15 higher price than it is currently at, the market is paying me almost $36 a share. So what I'm saying is, even when we have to buy shares, because we do often, and we have again no problem owning shares, we can turn around and agree to sell our shares for a profit and get paid all over again, as I just did here. So you can see in this particular trade, I've agreed to sell 100 shares of Tesla at $825 in the next month. But for that, I got paid $3,540 US for $35 a share. So if it goes to 825, I'm really getting 825 plus the 35. So I'm making more like $860 a share. And guess what happens if it doesn't go to 825? Well, I keep the $35 a share, and I can do this again next month, and next month, and next month, and so on and so forth, until the shares go away. So this is what we do day in and day out here. And again, the worst case scenario for us, because we don't lever ourselves or use excess margin, is the worst case scenario for us is that we wind up owning Airbnb, Apple, Tesla, companies that we wanted to own anyways, right? And again, I hope you guys can see how powerful this can be. Now, again, Tesla's currently trading at $809. Now, this is not meant to be stock advice. Please don't take it as such. I've done my own personal homework, and we have as a team, and we believe Tesla will be worth a lot more in the future. Now, again, that is not meant to be stock advice, simply our own internal homework. Now, if I know that, if I think Tesla's worth $1,000, let's say in 6 months, that's a hypothetical. Do you think I have any problem owning it at 8 or 9 if I think it's worth $1,000 in 6 months from now? And that is the backbone behind our entire strategy. Our ability to understand and analyze businesses is everything for us. The options is simply a way to increase our return and lower our risk. Okay. So again, Tesla's trading at $809.59. Okay. And I'm going to take a look at my chart here. And I'm going to agree to buy some Tesla shares for $790. Okay. That's about a $20 discount. Okay. So Christine, can you let me know what I'm getting paid on this particular trade? I'm going to do it just for 2 weeks. Okay. $790, and $790 is paying me about $25 and let's call it $25.40, 30 cents, sorry, $25.30. So how much am I getting paid on that, Christine? $25.30 divided by 790.
You're getting about 3.3%.
3.3%, but I'm making the 3.3% in 2 weeks. Remember, I am not further obligated beyond October 29th. So if it doesn't hit the price by October 29th, I keep all this money, which is, I'm more than happy to do it. Because again, if I think Tesla in 6 months is worth $1,000, do you think I mind owning it at $790? No, absolutely not. And you paid me $25 a share? Great. And if I do decide to wind up selling my shares prematurely, I can simply agree to sell my shares for a profit and get paid all over again, as we did with, I believe that was an Airbnb trade. So we've already done that, okay? No, that wasn't an Airbnb trade. Sorry, Tesla. We've already done it with Tesla. We agreed to sell our Tesla shares for $825. So as you can see, we can get paid both when we agree to buy our shares for a price, a discount, and we can get paid all over again if we have to wind up owning those shares, and then we agree to sell them for a profit, okay? Let's do a couple more trades, okay? So let's take a look at Palantir. Now, Palantir is probably the one company you guys have not heard of. It's a company that I think is a fantastic company. Again, I understand most people have not heard of this company, and that's totally understandable. But it's a company, again, that we do trade often. We've done a lot of research on it. We're very comfortable owning this long term. And again, that is the basis behind every single trade we do. We are more than happy to own these companies, okay? Again, allows us to sleep all night. So it's currently trading at $23.97. I'm going to agree to buy Palantir in the next 1 month for $23 a share, okay? So $23 a share, okay? Now, Christine, it looks like I'm getting paid $1.13. How much is $1.13 divided by $23 a share?
That is almost 5%. It's 4.9.
4.9%. Thank you, Christine. So I'm making 4.9% on this trade in just over a month, simply for agreeing to buy a stock that's currently at $24. I'm agreeing to buy it for $23. But again, I don't mind because I think it'll be worth more in the future, right? That, again, is the basis behind each and every trade we do. So I'm agreeing to buy 500 shares here. And there it is, trade done. Now, I want to remind you guys that when I started my journey trading and investing, I started off with zero money. In fact, I had a big OSAP debt and I knew nothing and I had no mentors. So For anyone saying, if I don't have enough money or all that stuff to start off, do not focus on the money. Focus on the knowledge. And it's clearly evidenced. I'll tell you, if you guys look at, lottery winners and you look at the prevalence of bankruptcy amongst lottery winners and professional athletes, they tend to go bankrupt often. And the reason is because they don't have financial literacy. Some of the most educated, smartest people that you and I know are maybe great at one field, but they are financially illiterate. It is prevalent throughout society. It boggles my mind that universities, colleges, high schools do not spend more time teaching people how to make money and how to be financially independent. Because, again, if you look at how much problems it caused, I saw my parents arguing about money all the time. It's the number one cause of divorces. You see people arguing, it causes mental health issues. It causes a whole host of issues. Stress. But yet somehow, nothing is taught. I don't know how that's even possible. But anyways, I digress. My point being is, this isn't taught. I don't know why it's not taught, but the people who understand this, understand how to make their money work for them, they are in an excellent position. Now, the old saying goes, this is a Warren Buffett quote, and I firmly believe in this. You know, wealthy people have their money working for them, and non-wealthy people trade their time in for money. And he also said, if you don't figure out how to make money while you sleep, you're going to work till the day you die. Our job is to make plenty of money while we sleep. Now, again, I've made these trades, so theoretically, I'm making a lot of money while I sleep, because I know the worst case scenario. I got paid a lot of money simply for agreeing to buy stocks. I would have bought anyways. I had to make a ton of money, so I'm pretty happy with this. So let's go to this Palantir trade. So again, I want to just get off that notion of, you know, that you have to have a certain amount of money and all that stuff. That's not necessarily. The knowledge is far, far more valuable than the money is. You know, like, because I started off with nothing. If I knew this back then in '98, when I first started trading, I would have avoided at least $1 million of trading mistakes over the years, because I had to learn on my own. We don't want you guys to do that. This is the system for us, which gives us the highest amount of return for the least amount of stress and the least amount of time spent. Now, another thing is, we don't spend more than 30 minutes a day trading. Right? So if you have a business, if you have a job, if you have a busy family life, you can incorporate this into your schedule. Right? We all talk about developing another income source, but very few people actually get around to doing it. For me, this was my additional income source while I was working, because I was able to integrate it. I used that money to buy real estate and eventually got to a spot where I didn't have to work for anyone ever again. And it's grown substantially since then. So that's what we do. I hope that makes sense to you guys. So we can see on this Palantir trade, guys, I got paid $560 for agreeing to buy 500 shares of Palantir at $23, which is about a $1 discount to where it's currently trading at in a little over a month. Again, that's about a 5% return in a month. And my worst case scenario is that I own Palantir. Well, great. I'm happy to own Palantir. So again, that is what we do day in and day out here. I'll do a couple more trades, and then Christine, maybe we can move on to some questions. Okay. So I can see I have 900 shares of Nike. Okay. I have 900 shares of Nike. I can see my average cost of this is $145. And I say to myself, you know what? I wouldn't mind getting rid of some of my Nike shares. I wouldn't mind getting rid of some of my Nike shares for about $160. I probably wouldn't do this for real though, because we're about to enter the seasonally strong period of time. But let's just say I did want to get rid of my Nike shares for whatever reason. I say, I've made some pretty good money. I want to get rid of my Nike shares. So I'm going to agree to sell my Nike shares for $160. Christine, I'm getting paid $2.80 on that. What does that work out to?
All right, $2.80 divided by 160. Do I have those numbers right?
That's correct. Yes.
It's almost 1.7%.
1.7%. So I'm getting paid 1.7% in a little over a month, simply for agreeing to sell my Nike shares for about a $5 profit or $4 profit from where it is today. $3.50 profit, excuse me. But again, I already have too many Nike shares. I'm happy to get rid of them. I only paid $145 for them. So what I'm trying to show you is, even if we have to buy the stock sometimes, there's a lot of flexibility in terms of what we can do. And you'll probably notice also that some trades pay a lot more money than others do. Why is that? Well, there's a very specific reason, that is called volatility. So these are all the things that we teach you. How does this whole thing work? How do I be the most efficient at it? How do I analyze good companies? You'll also get our daily newsletter for the next 6 months, which has market commentary specific to our strategy. It also has all of our trades. And the reason for the trades is not meant to copy. That is not the purpose of the trades. The purpose of the trades, to show you what trades that we did personally for the day, is to show you what we did so that you understand the thought process, so that if we get hit by a bus, that you're able to continue this on your own. That is the purpose of it. We are here to teach you how to fish, just that simple. Again, we were the victims of financial literacy. Like I said, I grew up with no money. I know what it feels like. And I know what it feels like to not, know if you're ever going to get out of your predicament, knowing maybe that you can never live the life that you wanted to, because you can't figure a way out. And you get more mature in life. You get kids, you get a family. Most people get addicted to the income and they can never leave. They're kind of stuck at their job forever, or they can move around jobs, but it takes a long time to acquire that financial freedom. This allowed me to get my financial freedom. I wouldn't have been able to start a company like Theta had I not needed money, right? It would allow me to acquire all my entire real estate portfolio, which is a sizable real estate portfolio. So again, it affords people a lot of flexibility in life. And also, like I said, it allows me to sleep really well at night. I know my worst case scenario. My worst case scenario is that I own one of these companies. Well, I'm happy to own them. It doesn't matter to me. It's a lot of flexibility for me, okay? So let's go ahead and make a couple more trades here, and then I'll turn it over to you, Christine. Do we have any questions? Guys, I encourage you to ask as many questions as possible.
Yeah, no questions yet, but I'm with you, Omar. I think this is a lot of really good stuff. There's no such thing as a not good question. So
there are,
the share.
sorry to interrupt you guys. There are actually questions in QA section. Christine, if you can look into that.
Okay, thanks, Omar. I'll just go on with the demonstration. Christine, if you could put up the questions, that would be great. So Visa.
Great.
I'm sure everybody's heard of Visa, right? Now Visa is trading at $221. Again, we think it'll be worth more in the future because of our own internal homework. I'm going to agree to buy Visa for $220. Pretty straightforward, okay? Now I can agree to buy it for more or less, okay? And depending on how much I agree to buy it for, I get paid more or less, okay? Like, for example, if I agree to buy Visa for $200 a share, which is a $21 discount, I'm still making almost 1% for the month, okay? If I agree to buy it for $205, I'm making more than 1%, okay? So I'm going to agree to buy Visa for $220. It's about $1.60 from where it is right now. Christine, if you could give me the number, $6.30 divided by 220, should be just shy of 3%.
Yep, 2.8%.
2.8%. Okay, great. So again, I got paid 2.8% for a month simply for agreeing to buy Visa at a $1.60 discount. Again, I'm more than happy to own Visa, right? All right. So let's look at another one here. Let's look at Facebook. Facebook. Everyone here has heard of Facebook, I'm assuming. Of course. Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram. It's a company that is widely used across the world. Phenomenal business, very strong moat around their business. We believe this company is going to go nowhere but higher because remember, it's not just Facebook, it's Instagram, it's WhatsApp, the upcoming metaverse. This is, again, you have to understand how these businesses work and what you believe the value in the future of these companies will be worth. And in your when you join Theta, you will get access to all of our research through our coaching calls. You'll see what we think of each of the companies, what we think they'll be worth in the future. We go over the process of going over earnings. This is a skill you really should have. It is a game-changing, literally life-changing skill once you understand how to navigate the markets and make some money, okay? So Facebook is currently trading at $325. And again, I'm happy to own Facebook. Facebook has taken a bit of a hit lately because of all this regulatory concern. I don't know if you guys have seen in the media, the effect on younger people, social media. It's been fairly intense. But you know what that doesn't do? It doesn't change the amount of money Facebook makes. So the stock has been hit pretty hard as a result of that. So we want to pick up some more shares because when our stocks go down in value, we don't get scared. In fact, we get more aggressive. Why? Because we believe they'll be worth more in the future. So currently Facebook is at 325, okay? I'm gonna agree to buy Facebook for 320, okay? I'm pretty happy to buy it for 320. So let's see what I'm getting paid on that. So $320 for October 29th. Christine, that is just a little bit over 2 weeks away, right? What am I getting paid on this, Christine? I'm getting paid $9.30 a share. Divided by 320. Yeah, should be a little bit shy of 3%.
Yep, 2.9% exactly.
Okay, 2.9. Thank you, Christine. So I'm getting paid 2.9% here simply for agreeing to buy Facebook for a $5 discount in the next 2 weeks. The worst that's going to happen to me is I'm going to own Facebook for $3.20 or less. Well, it doesn't matter. I would have bought it for $3.25 anyways. And I got paid almost $10 a share. Great. So I hope you can see how this can enhance return. I hope you can see how it can generate a significant side income, okay? And on top of that, how it lowers your risk, because the worst case scenario is that you own a high quality stock at a discounted price and you got paid a lot of money for it, right? So let's see how much I made on that trade, Christine. Again, I agreed to buy 200 shares here. So I agreed to buy 200 shares of Facebook. I made $1,850 US. Now, out of all these trades, I probably made, I don't know, probably at least 10 grand, maybe a bit more than that, maybe $10,000, $12,000 US in income. And my worst case scenario is what we already outlined: Apple, Airbnb, AMD, Tesla, Palantir, Nike, Visa, Facebook. That's it. That's the worst that'll happen to me. Again, I'm more than happy with that outcome. So that is our risk reward. Our desire, our goal always is to achieve return, but never to sacrifice our capital, never to put ourselves in a position where we don't sleep all night, yet generate significant return at the same time. This is how we came up with the Theta strategy. It may seem simple, but within the Theta strategy, there is so much to learn. What I've showed you thus far is the equivalent of learning how to drive a car in an empty parking lot. Yeah, it's really easy to drive in a car in an empty parking lot after you get a bit of a hang of it. You're not going to hit anyone. You're not going to change lanes. There's no other cars to avoid. It's very different from driving on a highway or a racetrack or through city traffic. So there is a lot to learn, but I promise you, if you take the time and energy to learn this, it has the ability to change your life, as it has done for me. Also, Christine, if you wouldn't mind, perhaps you can share a link to our Google reviews. You guys can see what our community has to think of how this knowledge has impacted their lives. It's in their words, not ours. So I encourage you guys to browse through it. Do your homework on us. We have nothing to hide. We're very transparent about what we do. Do your homework, see what other people have to say. And I've already gone over the logic behind what we do, why we do it. I hope it resonates with you. I hope it makes sense. You know, why do we do what we do? How much money are we able to make? What could this mean to your future? I hope these things all kind of make sense. And like I said, with our, once you become a member of Theta, you get 6 months of support. So in the next 6 months, you have the opportunity to learn a life-changing skill. But the onus is still on you to put in the work. There is a lot to learn and there is work to be done. But at the end of that path, you have a lifelong skill which nobody can take away you. And that's a great spot to be in. Okay. Okay, Christine, I'll turn it over to you. If I can make some more trades, but I think the best thing to do perhaps is to go to the Q&A. Guys, I encourage you guys to ask as many questions as you want. We're fully transparent here.
Fantastic. And I think I'll jump right in. I'm going to start with the chat questions, and then we can look in the questions and answers. Some people have kindly moved their answers from one to the other, so we'll do our best to not duplicate too many, but here we go. First question is from Roger, and he's asking, what is your recommended minimum brokerage balance to begin? So what is your recommended minimum brokerage balance to begin?
Roger, that's a good question. And again, I would say, don't focus on the money. At minimum, you need $2,000 to open an account, but realistically, you probably need at least $10,000. Like I said, don't focus on the money. You'll always be able to make more money in the future. You'll be able to have access to more money. Focus on the knowledge. I started off with nothing except for OSAP, and I worked myself out of that. So I wouldn't say the way more important thing to do is to really focus on the knowledge. Once you have the knowledge, it's far easier to make money. But a simple answer, Roger, I'd say probably at least 10 grand.
Great. Next question. Next question is from Tiffany, and she's asking, what type of account are these trades being made? Is it margin, a cash account, TFSA?
Yes, that's a great question. So in a TFSA or an RSP, you can actually not implement this strategy. And that's not a Theta thing. That's not the platform reason. You got to pick that up with JT, Justin Trudeau, and the government of Canada. It is not allowed for whatever reason. So this is a margin account. Again, margin account means that you will be given more money than you have. That's fine, because generally speaking, we don't agree to buy stock for more money than we have. We have the ability to do it, but because we like to sleep all night, we don't like to do that. We do sometimes use a margin here and there, but we don't use it to a large extent. So it's a margin account, which means you have the ability to trade with a lot more money than you have, but it doesn't mean you have to. So if you only have 10 grand in your account, you only trade with 10 grand. If you have 20 in your account, trade with 20. If you have 5, trade with 5. If you have 100, trade with 100. But the margin account gives you the ability to trade with more money than you actually have. Okay.
Fantastic. So Tiffany has another question. She's wondering if you would recommend Interactive Brokers or the Interactive Brokers platform, to be more specific.
Yeah, I would. I've been using Interactive Brokers since 2005, way before we ever even decided to think of anything to do with the Theta. Because take a look at our trades. Okay, so you go to trades here. You can see my commission right here. See the commission? Where I think it's the fourth column. So 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth column over. You can see commission. So let's take a look at my Tesla trade here. Any random trade. My commission, $1.41 for a $5,000 payout. Pretty good deal. There's no assignment fees. Customer service is not great, but the trading platform is so cheap for the amount of trades that I make. It would literally cost me thousands of dollars a month if I were to use a different platform, because let's say, for example, Quest Trade charges $7, $6.95 a trade, and they add per contract. For me, to be able to trade for $1.50, like this trade was 83 cents. Like that's a cheap trade, right? Like, so it gives me all the functionality I need, and also is super cost efficient. Now, also, something a lot of you guys are not aware of, this Interactive Brokers, we have no affiliation with Interactive Brokers. You're free to use whoever you like. I'm just going to highlight the importance of a direct market access broker. Some of you guys have heard of Robinhood in the United States, advertising no commissions. Well, that's not accurate. What they do is they take your order and they sell it to a middle party, a middleman, and that middle person doesn't give you the best pricing. So on the optics, appearance-wise, it would seem that you're not paying commission. However, in reality, you're paying a lot of commission. You simply don't know it. Interactive Brokers is a direct market access broker, which means it goes directly from my phone to the exchange. Okay, so I'll show you here, like this Apple trade we did. Actually, I can't go back. I got to go to orders and trades. So let's go to the Apple trade, and you can see here the exchange where it says bucks. That means it routed to me the most efficient pricing for that particular trade, and it was very transparent on my commissions. They were $1.39. So yes, I highly recommend Interactive Brokers for myself. I've been using it for years, but that is not highly recommend. I shouldn't say that. I'm very happy with it. The vast majority of the people in Theta, almost 99%, I'd say, use Interactive Brokers, but we are not affiliated with them. You're free to use whoever you want. Just consider costs and execution. Okay.
Great.
All
Okay,
right,
next,
Christine.
there's a nice message from 𝐓𝐫𝐚𝐼𝐳. I'm sorry if I've just butchered your name, but the message is, thank you for this session, Omar, Christine, and the Theta team. So
No
that's
problem.
lovely to share.
We're happy to do it. I hope you guys can see how this can change your life financially. I really do. Like, sometimes people don't get it, but like, think of how much money I just made simply for agreeing to buy stocks I'd have bought anyways. Right? You see what that can do over a period of time, how much capital it can add up, what sort of freedom and flexibility in life it can give you. It's not about buying stuff. That's not what makes people happy. But freedom, autonomy, that makes people happy. And that's what we strive for here at Theta. So
okay, great. And then Nav has a question, actually. In terms of learning capabilities, how is Theta compared to our GTA offerings? And are you planning any in-person sessions as well? Nav is in the Mississauga area.
Yeah, now I'm in Mississauga too. We used to do courses at the University of Toronto, Mississauga, my old alma mater. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to return there because of COVID. We do plan on getting back there sometime soon, but we have no idea when that'll be. It'll probably be sometime from now. And as far as other offerings, GTA wise, I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. Does that mean how it compares to anyone else who's?
Yeah, I mean, Nav, please feel free to add some additional comments in the chat if I have this wrong. But I think you're asking us to say, how do we compare to some of the other organizations that may be offering options trading in the GTA area?
Right, that's a good point, Nav. So Nav, I've been trading for 23 years. I know of two other organizations that are offering similar trading at a far higher price, and they are simply just students of Theta. So people who learned about 2 years ago, year and a half ago, they decided to copy us. We're not concerned about anyone copying us because fundamentally what separates everybody, you cannot replicate 23 years of trading experience from myself and Matthew apiece. You can't replicate our ability to analyze companies. So we're not worried about that per se. But the two that I do know now, they are simply just people who took our courses and decided to teach on their own and say, hey, look what I found. But the reality is there's certain things that only experience teaches you. And I've been through a lot over my years of learning. And same with my business partner. He's also been trading for 23 years because we had no choice. We had to trade out of necessity. I was out of that or be broke for the rest of our lives. And there's no way that was going to happen. So I hope that answers your question, Nav.
Yeah, I think that would be really helpful, Omar. I think the other thing that I would just mention is we just added a blog post on our website that talks to exactly this type of questions, like, some things to think about and maybe some questions to ask before you sign up with any options training provider. So check it out. Leave a comment. There's a question from 𝐓𝐫𝐚𝐽. Apart from selling puts or covered calls, do you teach any other strategy?
𝐓𝐫𝐚𝐽, no, that is the only thing we do. And it's not because we haven't traded. I've traded every single strategy you can think of. There's a reason I trade the way I do. I've traded tens of thousands of contracts of credit spreads, iron condors, butterflies, strangles, spreads. And I know all this stuff sounds kind of weird, but I've tried every strategy in copious quantities. The reason we stick to this strategy and this strategy only is because it is the only one that allows us not to lose our money. The worst case scenario is that we own shares in that company. Well, I don't believe that Tesla and Microsoft and Facebook and Apple are going to go bankrupt. And Nike, if they all go bankrupt simultaneously, well, then I don't think my concern is going to be about money. That means society is probably completely falling apart, which is a far, far greater concern. So there's a very specific reason we stick to the strategy. We can make fantastic money doing it, and it doesn't require a lot of time because there's so many more important things in life to do, and it allows us to sleep well at night. 30 minutes a day, anywhere in the world on my phone. Good spot to be in.
Awesome. Okay, and a really good question from Vishal. What do you do if a trade goes against you, Omar?
Yeah, it goes against us all the time. Last year was a great example of that. Again, keep in mind, our worst case scenario is that we own a particular stock, right? That's our worst case scenario, right? So let's take a look at what happened last year. Let's take a look at Apple. Okay, so here's a good example. This is pre-pandemic. Okay, pre-pandemic, Apple's at $80, it's 79, 80, and all of a sudden falls off a cliff. Pandemic comes and it goes to $61, right? Now, again, let's say I agreed to buy it for 78 or 80, or it was at 81, or I agreed to buy it for 75, and now it's at $60. Or sorry, it actually went down to 57 here. Let's say it goes down to $57. Pretty big loss, right? Well, again, because I believe in the quality of this company, I can pull from my real estate assets and agree to buy more of it so that I can average down. And because I did not incur a permanent loss of capital, instead I just owned shares, all I had to do was simply wait. And by May 20th, May 24 weekend, I was already back to positive again. And subsequent to that,
sorry to interrupt you, but if you're sharing screen, we cannot see it.
Oh no, I'm not sharing a screen here. No.
Okay.
Thank you. I can share the screen, but that's you know what? Actually, I should share the screen for this. My apologies. Christine, we're going to end the poll here for me to share the screen. Okay, so let me just close this. Let me just start my share screen again here. So I'll actually show you 𝐓𝐫𝐚𝐽 what it looks like. So Sorry, that wasn't available. That was the next question. So again, here, so you can see here pre-pandemic, Apple was at $81, okay, and it went all the way down to 57. Again, the worst that happened to us is we owned Apple shares, and by June we had already made our money and recovered and bought more. But luckily, we bought even more on the way down. Why? Because we believed in the quality of the company we were investing in. This case, Apple. And now we flash forward a year later, it's at 140. It's almost double the value. And I can pretty much go down the board. And that's why it's so important for us to stick to high quality companies. We can look at, let's look at a bunch of the big ones. Microsoft, another example, okay? Microsoft last year, pre-pandemic was at $183, okay? Took an absolute beating, went down to 136, which again, if we agreed to buy a bunch of shares, we had to buy everything. But again, because it was a high quality company, all we had to do was wait. By the summertime, it had recovered and made a ton of money. And now it's significantly higher at almost at $300, okay? Facebook, same scenario. And again, this is the reason why we stick to these high quality companies. So Facebook, same thing here. Pre-pandemic, absolute beating. It went from, it looks like about $218 down to 144. Again, it's not fun while it happens, and I'm not saying it is, but at least we knew that we had the shares. We knew that those companies were continually making money. This was a temporary event. So instead of panicking and freaking out, we bought more on the way down. So when it recovered, we made an absolute killing. Actually, last year was one of our best years. We made an absolute killing last year because we were able to take advantage of the market downturn during COVID. And that kind of just goes through everything. If you look at Tesla, same thing. Nike, same sort of scenario. You know, Nike was at $93, actually $102, went all the way down to 69. That's a huge amount of decline. And again, we just held and bought more, and now Nike's at $155 a share. So this, again, if you do this on crappy companies, it will not work. You will have very high amount of stress. The key with our entire strategy is sticking to high quality companies that we believe will be worth more in the future. So that a worst case scenario for us is that we can simply hang on and wait for the market to recover, right? That's the idea, to never lose our money, okay? Okay, Christine, next question.
Okay, yeah, super. So Tiffany is asking a question. I think you've covered it, but just to share it so that we're all clear, is Theta trading based solely on selling puts? And are these puts cash secured?
Yes, Theta is our core strategy is puts and calls, selling puts and selling calls. Now, are they cash secured? Well, that depends upon you, right? So if you put $10,000 in your account, don't buy shares for more than $10,000. So that means it's cash secured. If you agree to buy shares for more than $10,000, they will now be slightly into margin. Again, that is something you don't have to do. So yes, each trade we do, almost all trades, I wouldn't say all of them, but almost all are cash secured, yes.
Right.
Okay.
So Paul Lee says he's looking forward to the course this weekend.
All right, I'm looking forward to teaching it, Paul.
And Vishal has another question. How would you handle it if a trade is deep in the money? So sorry, let me say that again. How do you handle it if a trade goes deep in the money?
Yeah, it happens all the time. We just hang on. That's it. Like, let's say, for example, I have Tesla's at $808. Okay, I agreed to buy Tesla. Let's say here for $790. Great. If it goes to $750, I'm deep in the money. I don't care. I got paid How much did I get paid on this? I got paid $25 a share. So really, instead of $790, I'm at $790 minus 25, which is $765. So even if it goes to $750, I don't really care. I'll just wait it out because, again, I believe Tesla will be worth more in the future. So if it goes deep in the money, instead of getting stressed out and panicked, we'll find more money to be able to buy as it goes down lower. So that when that eventual, we believe, rebound comes, we are in a great position to profit from it. Okay.
Fantastic. So I'm gonna keep going with the questions that are in the chat.
Yep.
I can see the questions in the Q&A, and we'll jump over there in just a second. But for now, the next question in the chat is, Omar, how many positions do you open on average in a day? That's from Vishal.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Vishal, quite a bit. I've got a lot of different trading accounts. I've got corporate accounts, personal accounts. So I have a lot of different accounts, but like I said, because I own a lot of real estate, so a lot of my real estate's in corps. So I have the corps that trade for those particular, like if you have a little, plaza or a couple plazas in one corp, well then you also trade in that account. I have a lot of different trading accounts, and I make a lot of trades per week. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that does. And he's also interested in how long do you hold them?
What do you mean? How long do we hold the stock?
Yes. How many positions you have open on average in a day? Sorry. How many positions?
A lot, but we only trade 10 stocks. So within those 10 stocks, we could have multiple puts on each one of them. So I don't know how many positions.
And how soon you close for profit?
Oh, that's a great question. So let's take an example here. Okay, so generally speaking, we close our profit around 80%. Okay, so we can see here that this Nike has expired to 86%. Okay, so we agreed to buy Nike for $145. It's clearly at $155, so we don't have to worry about buying it. We got paid $3.09. Now it's only worth 44 cents. So I'm going to go ahead and buy this put back. Okay, and I'm going to lock in my profit. And now I no longer have to worry about buying Nike. And I can use that money that I had allocated towards Nike. I can use that money to agree to buy a different stock altogether. I can agree to buy Nike all of them. That is called rotation of capital. We show you in the course what we believe is the most efficient way to rotate your capital so that you can increase your returns even more. Okay. Okay, Christy, next question. I'm glad people are inquisitive. This is great.
Me too. Me too. Okay, so let's see. Our next question is from Naki Parsanua. I hope I pronounced that right. I just funded my first live account in Canadian dollars after paper trading for 6 months.
Excellent.
And have been doing well. When funding Canadian dollars, do I have to convert my Canadian to USD in the app in order to trade US options? And Omar, I'm wondering if you would just help everybody just by explaining a little bit about what paper trading is. I'm not sure if everybody on our call today knows about that.
Sure. So as you can see from my screen share at the top in yellow, it says simulated trading. So simulated trading means everything is real, the trades are real, just the money is fake. That's all that means. So it's the old Muhammad Ali saying, you can either sweat in the gym or bleed in the ring. We don't want to bleed in the ring. We want to sweat in the gym so that when we have our boxing match, as an analogy, we're prepared for it, right? And this is the exact same thing. You are simply practicing with fake money, real trades, fake money. And then as like Nike did, he did it for 6 months. Whenever your gut tells you you're ready, you move to real money. It's just that simple. And also, the second question is, do you have to convert your money? You don't have to convert your money to trade US stocks. But if you do run a slight negative balance, so for example, if you have to buy 100 shares of Apple, you'll have, it'll cost you $14,000 US. And if you only have $20,000 Canadian in your account, well, you can either convert that money over to cover the $14,000 US, or you can pay interest on the $14,000, and that interest is about 1.6% a year. It's less than a mortgage. Right? It's very cheap, but it's your decision. Okay, great, Christine. Next question.
For sure. So next question is from Catherine Dusa. I understand there would be a great deal to understand how the process works. What amount of time do you think it would take to actually understand the program?
Yeah, great question. Most people come in with zero knowledge, nothing. They don't know anything about the stock market. That's the vast majority of people. And I'd say it probably takes about 50 to 100 hours between both the weekend and learning and practicing. I'd say 50 to 100 hours. But like everything else in life, you get better at it as you get more proficient at it. So, but I'd say to get up to a decent speed, 50 to 100 hours. And then beyond that, obviously you want to be at the best at something. If you want to be very good at it, you have to put in more work. It's just that simple.
Fantastic. So from Avsal, what technical indicators and Greeks do you generally use to trade options?
Oh, look at that. Hey, very interesting question. So the Greeks we focus on is Vega, Delta, and Theta, of course. There's a reason we called our company Theta. And technical indicators, we use a bunch. So if I should show you here, you can see we have the 50-day moving average, 200-day moving average, the 90-day moving average, Bollinger Bands, RSI, which is Relative Strength Index. All these squiggly lines, they all mean something, right? So these are technical indicators. There's 1,000 different technical indicators. We use what we believe are the most prominent ones to help us make a better decision. But yeah, those are the ones we use. Okay.
Fantastic. And I just want to
he clearly knows a thing or two about options. He's asking about the Greeks.
I know, right?
Yeah.
No, they're great questions. They're all great questions. I'd really, Umar, thank you very much for posting the registration link. So for folks who are interested in joining us this weekend, Umar, our colleague, has kindly posted the link. Check it out. And that ties nicely to Catherine's question. Catherine is wondering, would your course be acceptable for a real newbie?
Yes, it's designed to be the course that myself and my business partner would have wanted in 1998 when we knew nothing. That is the way we designed it. We designed it purposely for someone who knows nothing about the stock market. And the vast majority of people who are in our program, and we have about 1,300 people who have taken our program in the 2 years since we've started it, the vast majority didn't know a thing about options or stock market for that matter. Like, I mean, nothing. Barely knew what a stock even was. And that's why we decided to do it that way.
And I have to chime in to say that you're describing me, Omar, because when I joined, I knew nothing about options. I think just even the term options was intimidating, and it's been a great experience for me. Certainly added to my life. There's a great question again from Nav. Just in case I'm unable, sorry, let me try that again. Just in case I'm unable to get it, what are the terms to fulfill for money back, please?
Yeah, you got 30 days. We have a full money back guarantee. You just have to show us that you tried. You made 2 paper trades. That's it. 2 sample trades in that bank account. The bottom line is you have 6 months. And I'm going to be very frank with you guys here. If you don't get it in 6 months, it's not because the concepts were difficult. It's because you didn't put in the work. I cannot do anything about making people put in work. So that's the reality of it. So we offer 100% money back guarantee for a reason. We know what we do, we know it works, and we believe in it. So we're more than happy to give 100% money back guarantee. But that being said, there's no getting around you putting in the work. We can only teach you so much. The rest is up to you to learn. So like I said, if in 6 months, if you haven't learned what's going on, it's more likely you haven't put in a good effort. And that's rather unfortunate because, like I said, it has the ability to change your life. Fair enough?
Great. Yeah, that sounds totally fair. And Nav actually responded, that is so fair, Omar. Thank you.
No problem.
And Catherine also thanks you for your candor.
No problem.
And there's a great question from Kenny. Kenny wants to know, how far will the intro course take you if you have some experience already?
Yeah, the reality is even if you have interest in, experience trading options or the stock, we have a very specific strategy. Understanding businesses. So the intro course itself will give you everything that you need to trade. Everything. You don't need anything more than this to trade. However, there is an advanced course that you can do down the road because we cannot teach you everything in one weekend. But the intro course has everything you need. Okay. Another thing we will never do here at Theta, ever. I can promise you, as long as I own the company, it'll never happen. You're never going to have a course and then sell you on a way more expensive course. I despise that sort of activity. I do not like it. It happened to me in the past, and I don't like it one bit. It'll never happen at Theta. We're very transparent. Simple equation. It's $2,000 for the course, but it will change your life. Okay.
Great. Fantastic. So I just had a quick look in the Q&A, and everybody was kind enough to copy their questions over, or maybe Umar actually helped with that. So I believe that we have answered everything. Kenny just responded to your answer, Omar, saying he appreciates it. So great. I'm glad that helped.
Thanks, Kenny. And if anyone here has taken the course, or I don't know, sometimes we get people who are joined. I could, if you've taken the course, and just let people know what it's done to your life. How has it impacted your life? Yeah, like I said, it literally changed my life, and I wish I had known it years ago how to do this and how to make money on my phone while having a job. I didn't know. I had to learn all this on my own. But our job is to get as many people to financial independence as we possibly can. we're creating a great network, a great environment of people like, what the old saying is, your network is your net worth. Well, Theta is a community. We have 1,300 people in the community. So we have regular get-togethers. Our next get-together is on December 4th, right? So many of us invest in real estate. We talk about how to get to our goals. It's about being around like-minded individuals. So it's not just one weekend and you're done. I hope that you're here for life, because we want to get people to their end goal, and that's to live life on their terms, not somebody else's terms. What's the old saying? Either you pick your future or somebody will pick it for you. We choose to pick our own future. So I hope the networking, that in itself excites you.
Rick Penner was kind enough to share that he took the intro course early this year, paper traded for a few months, and live trading since July, and is up over 10% just since July. Wow.
Excellent, Rick. Fantastic. Yeah, that's great. And it hasn't been a great environment since July, quite frankly. So September was a terrible month. October has not been very good. So it hasn't been the best trading environment, yet you still made 10%. And I hope you guys can see why. Is because Rick was able to do those trades that we talked about. You guys saw how much we made on each trade. So thank you, Rick, for chiming in there. I really appreciate it.
And there's one good question that I realized that I skipped over. So Omar, is this course viewable after the delivery time frame?
Yes, you have access to the course for 6 months. You have a live coaching session every Friday at 10:30. If you can't attend, you can watch the replay. You get a newsletter every single day with all the market commentary pertaining to our strategy, plus our trades. So like I said, at the end of the day, if you don't understand this after 6 months, you didn't put in the work. So every resource is there. You can so the chapters are broken down. I'm not saying it's not a lot to learn. It is. There's 16 hours of class time. But if you don't understand the section, just log in. It's just like Netflix. Each chapter is broken down by chapter and subchapter. Watch it. Try to review. Oh, I didn't learn this. Oh, I didn't get that. Okay, just review that. You got 6 months to review all the material over and over and over again. So like I said, if at the end of 6 months, if you haven't learned it, it might be because you didn't put in a lot of work. So 6 months, lots of time.
Fantastic. So I see there's just a couple of more comments coming in, or questions. One is from Afzal. Do you trade weekly SPY?
Afzal, I don't trade weekly SPYs because SPY is 500 stocks all rolled into one. I don't. With the good, you get the bad, right? It's a good way to diversify if you have a limited asset size or whatnot. But I prefer to trade individual stocks because within the S&P 500, you get pretty much every stock. So I'm not comfortable owning all these. Some stocks, some companies are not very good. I don't want to be part of them. So I prefer to trade individual stocks, but many people do use ETFs. And if you do weeklies, the thing with weeklies is, yes, you can get paid more because of Theta. I don't want to get too much into it, but you're not going to give yourself as a big of a discount, and you're able to. We like to stagger our trades, so some weekly, some biweekly, some monthly, and some even beyond that. There's a very specific reason behind that. We teach you all that stuff. Okay. All right. Next question, Christine.
So then there was a great share by Rick. He says, of course, amazing course, but like Omar says, it takes time to learn and practice. He highly recommends paper trading for a while.
Yeah, thanks, Rick. I appreciate it. Thanks for the compliment first. And I couldn't agree with you more. This will be an opportunity for the rest of your life. The stock market presents opportunity every single day. You don't have to rush it. Focus on the knowledge. Paper trade. Your gut will tell you when you're ready. And again, like I said, we have a huge community. So we have a private Facebook group with 900 members. Ask questions. Hey guys, what do you guys think of this trade? People will be more than happy to chime in. We are a community, a network that are looking to get to similar goals. So Rick, thank you. And I couldn't agree more. Practice, trade, learn, focus on the knowledge.
Great. And there's just 2 comments on our Facebook Live page that, one's a question and one's a comment. One's from Naki, and they're asking, I just funded my first live account in Canadian after trading paper for 6 months. When funding Canadian dollars, do I have to convert to Canadian?
You convert to Canadian only when you need to. You don't have to convert currency unless you need to. It's not a big deal. That's a minor issue. I wouldn't really even worry about it.
Fantastic. And then Brian has chimed in to say, as Omar says, it's life-changing. I was one of his first to take this course.
Oh, who's
I
that?
can't agree more. This is Brian 𝐷𝐿𝐼𝐻𝐸𝐻.
Oh, Brian 𝐷𝐿𝐼𝐻𝐸𝐻. Interesting story. So I met Brian when we first started trading, and we met at a Starbucks. And he's like, you know what? If I make the money back for the course, I'll be happy. That's what. Remember, Brian, you said that to me. And so I think Brian was in our first class 2 years ago. And maybe Brian, you can chime in and say how things have gone in the last 2 years for you. And that is considering a major market catastrophe like the one we had last year. Brian was involved in that. So maybe Brian, you could comment. I hope you see when I was laughing when you said, "Hey, can I make my money back for the course?" when we met at Starbucks in Oakville. You can see why I thought it was, why I wasn't overly concerned. But anyway, thank you, Brian. Good to hear from you, buddy.
Yep, great. So that's everything on Facebook. Let's see if we've got any more comments quickly. And then Tim Manley has chimed in to everyone. I've been with Theta for 1 year and continued my learning ever since. I have taken the 2 advanced courses. I started with a small account, and finally it has grown to the point I can sell puts on more expensive stocks. The entire Theta gang are professional and transparent and really care about us. The coaching calls are unbelievable and are so valuable. It's a great comment. Thanks, Tim.
Wow, thanks, Tim. We appreciate that. That's very kind of you, and I'm glad that this has had a positive impact on your life. And yeah, it's awesome. I love teaching this stuff, guys, because it's always amazing that you get to impact people's lives in a positive manner, and you get to do something you love to do every day. I'm very fortunate to be in that spot, and I can't be more thankful. I get to teach people like Tim and Brian and Rick, how to make money for their families and themselves, so that they're in a favorable position. And like I said, it feels great. So for any of you guys looking to join the Theta community, we're more than happy to have you. We look forward to teaching you, and we're not hard salespeople. If you would like to join, great. If you don't, take your time, do your homework. We're more than happy. But for those of you who do want to look at the strategy and the Theta program, like I said, I truly believe it'll change your life. All right. Any more questions, Christine?
Nope.
Thank you, Tim, by the way. I really appreciate the comment. All right.
For sure.
Okay, guys. Greatly appreciate your time, and thank you guys so much for joining us today. I hope you guys learned a lot, and I hope to see many of you in the Theta community real soon. Okay?
Great. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Omar.
Thanks. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye now.